Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Newkirk, and I'd like to welcome you to our YouTube channel entitled Budgeting in Three Dimensions. Budgeting in three dimensions is a philosophy. Budgeting in three dimensions is a mindset. Budgeting in three dimensions is a new technique that will allow you the opportunity to be successful in your budgeting and money management endeavors. You see, we can no longer afford to be frivolous with our money. The world economy has shifted, and now money is even more precious than it has ever been before. So we need to learn how to keep it. Okay. And this channel will give you the opportunity to find ways to keep your money. Our channel here will cover myths about money that we've heard from childhood that may or may not be correct. These myths may or may not be beneficial to us here and now. So let's delve into the world of money myths and the truth that lies behind them as we begin to encapsulate the philosophy, budgeting in three dimensions.
Money management myths. Number 2, stocks and risk. What is a risk and how can you take advantage of it as an investor?
Money management myth number 2, stocks are risky. There's a little bit of confusion with that statement because what your definition of risky is probably is not the same as the definition of an investor's risky. You're saying stocks are risky because you don't know what context in which to use stocks in your portfolio. But guarantee you that if you take our course, you're going to see where stocks actually have a place in your investment strategy that is absolutely necessary for you if you want to have it all. So what is risky? What we do is we're going to learn how to minimize the risk. So it's not going to be risky. Life is risky. Stocks are a part of life. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to exclude stocks because they're risky. I got to live this life anyway. But we're going to learn how to mitigate that risk so that you can put it in your portfolio and not abuse it, but use it to help multiply your earnings and allow your money to make money for you. Money management myth number 3. Index funds are a guaranteed mediocrity. There's a whole lot of deception in what that says. And I actually used to believe that when I first started investing. And I got burnt by it. Why? Because index funds is the same as if you were to tell that to the tortoise when he beat the hay. Because if you try to beat the market, there's a lot of opportunity to lose. Whereas the index fund is going to perform as the market performs. And in our course, we're going to tell you that, and I'm going to give you a secret. I'm going to recommend to you that you need to set up with some index funds as a part of your investing. Take the course and find out.
Money management myths. Number 9, beating the market. Listen as Robert addresses this deception connected to this myth.
Money management myth number 9, you can beat the market. Wow, there are so many draws to that to lead you in the wrong direction. I can't even get started here. Very few funds, management companies, hedge funds, etc. actually get to beat the market. But the keynote here is even if they do beat the market, the fees that they had to pay in order to beat the market gets translated right back to you. And now, even though you may have beat the market this one time, all these fees that come into play now decrease the margin in which you beat it, which basically comes down to Very few funds ever beat the market consistently from year to year to year to year to year, okay? And the ones that do, they try to make their name from it while they're doing it. But then they fizzle away. So the concentration of obtaining financial security for you is not to beat the market. It's to let the market work for you. And in our course, we're going to teach you how to do that. That's what's needed here, is to learn how to let the market work for you. The market needs to be your friend, not your enemy.
Money management myths. Number 11. Mutual funds. General presumptions of success are dangerous, and Robert exposes the truth about this myth.
Money management myth number 11. You can't go wrong with mutual funds. This is one that I learned the hard way. Yes, you can go wrong with mutual funds. And it goes back to myth number 10, in which we talk about we can't go wrong with IBM. It also goes back to number 9, in terms of you can't beat the market. The issue with mutual funds is they advertise that they often beat the market. And they also want to advertise that they are the fund to beat. This is a great marketing promotion for them, but it doesn't necessarily become effective for you as the investor. Because while they're trying to beat the market, as we said before, all those fees will trickle back down to you. I had a case where I thought I had made a great return on my investment with a mutual fund, only to look at the statement and realize I barely made 2%. So how do we differentiate what funds are good to invest in, which funds we might get taken a little bit by? Well, our course kind of talks about that. And we'll give you a formula, even as an uninformed investor, to give you a template until you become informed. Because we're looking out for you. We want to stop the madness of this consumerism into society. You need to become an investor so that you can become and make the goal of being financial secure.
Money management myths. Number 12. A balanced portfolio. What does that really mean? And why you need to know the difference.
Money management myth number 12. You should own a balanced portfolio. That one's deceiving. It's not that it should be a balanced portfolio, but it needs to be a diversified portfolio. When you say balanced portfolio, to me that means equal shares. So I need to have an equal number of stocks and an equal percentage of bonds. No, that can get you into trouble because stocks are a lot more volatile than bonds. You need to compensate for that. In our course, we'll teach you how to do that and actually give you a template on what percentages need to be what so that your portfolio is actually diversified. Balance can get you into trouble. So in other words, if you had a balanced portfolio back in 2008, you may not have much of a portfolio at all because both of them went down. But we're going to teach you how to do this and do it correctly so that you can get in the game and achieve your goal of financial security.
Money management myths. Number 14. The assurance of a 10% return on your investment. Join Robert as he addresses one of the biggest investment myths and why it's not true.
Money management myth number 14. Your investments will make 10% a year. That's a possibility, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on it because money doesn't necessarily work that way. It's not that clean. We could make 10%. We could also make 7%. There is a possibility we might make 20% in a year. But the bottom line is you need to have your money working for you so that you are in position to make money. Because one of the principles is don't lose money. We got to make money work for us. And so in that aspect, you may try to forecast based on 10%, but you also need to forecast based on 5% so that you have a range of where you're trying to go versus an exact science. So that's where that needs to be changed. And that myth is not case because it could be some down years. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we are achieving for the long haul And that's where the course will get you such that your tolerance will be changed so that you can endure the short term and be able to gain from the long term.
Money management myths. Number 15. Buy bonds for income. Join Robert as he helps you better understand bonds and why this myth is confusing.
Money management myth number 15. If you need income, buy bonds. Nah, I don't like that. Reason being is because bonds are in actuality a loan. You are loaning money to the government or a company for a specified period of time. There's not any deal for income per se. So that's not a good design in terms of bonds being income. You actually are better off with stocks being an income, but you have to buy the right ones. In our course, we will tell you the difference between an income stock and a growth stock and a cyclic stock so that you can now put it all together, determine what you need, and if it's income that you actually need, go and get the right stock so that you can get that income over a certain period of time, whether it's quarterly, semi-annually, or year-round, whichever it may be. That might be the best investment for you, but you need to know about that. We will tell you. Myth number 17, you can find the next Magellan. Now, most people in the investment world know what that means when you talk about Magellan. You may not understand what that is. Magellan was a fund that was from Fidelity Investments back in the 80s that went off the roof in the late 80s, early 90s. They got returns that were just unbelievable. And my mentor actually would participate in the Magellan Fund. And he ended up doing very well. But to say that you can find the next Magellan Fund, how? Who knows what's going to come up next? It all depends on what the market's going to do. It all depends on what the financial world is going to do. It all depends on what the next technology may be. And we don't have control of it. So there's no need to actually try to go and look for the next Magellan. We just need to have a solid plan in which we know we can work no matter what season the market is in. And once we get that, we're now in position. And if by chance we stumble on the Magellan, all the more the merrier. But our course will tell you how to set up that structure and give you a template in which to go by as you become a financial wizard. But we need to know what that is so that we can even have the chance of becoming or involved in the next project.
This is Robert Newkirk, and I would like to thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I certainly hope you were able to absorb some valuable golden nuggets while you were watching our videos. If you appreciate what we have to offer and have the cravings for more, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Also like and comment on our channel as you see fit, and stay tuned for more videos and updates as they come along. And also be sure to visit our website, robertfnewkirk.com. Thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.